All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise unto my power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Hey, Shalom to all you sincere, the true believers. Right. Today's lesson, I want to go into a topic that a lot of people already know, but some people don't. It's new people coming into the faith, every day, all of the time, and the breakdowns that we've already learned for brothers, and even sisters, but because this is beneficial for sisters as well. This is history, right? But the point of the matter is, it's people coming into the faith all the time. So a lot of the breakdowns or the understandings of certain scriptures that we've already learned, for those who've learned them, we ought to go ahead and go into them as well. So that way newcomers that are coming in can get fed too, just like those who taught us, because we had to learn at some point too, right? So it's always beneficial to go back into certain things, because, this is what it's about. Commit these things unto faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. That's the point, right? So let's get into Ishmael received a blessing and not a promise, right? Not the promise, because this was brought up to me at camp the other day. Somebody was saying that basically that Ishmael received the promise as well. You see what I'm saying? Or was one of the chosen. And that's just not the case, right? And you often hear this concept comes up sometimes when you going at it with Muslims, because at the end of the day, you are supposed to defend the gospel, right? So if you out in the highways and hedges and somebody come at you with something, you're supposed to be able to know this book, because this is our book. You see what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and start at right here, and I'll grab Romans 9, because Romans 9, a lot of times people have like difficulty understanding that, which myself as well. When I first came in, I was like, I thought I was cutting myself by reading it, but no, it clearly backs up everything that we saying, right? So let's go ahead and just cut the fact that ultimately the Heavenly Father only gave Ishmael a blessing, not a promise. So we start off, majority of these scriptures are going to be in Genesis, right? And I encourage brothers and sisters to go ahead and read Genesis, like it was encouraged in me when I first was getting into the scriptures, right? Started Genesis 15 and rocked down to 25. And then from Genesis 25, rock down to 35. Then Genesis 35, rock down to the end of Genesis. You know what I'm saying? So you can read 10 chapters, 10 chapters, 10, you know what I'm saying? And then see what you learned on those 10. And then another 10, then another, you know what I'm saying? Until you get to the end. Genesis got a lot of history in it. You know what I'm saying? All right, so Genesis chapter 17 and verse 20. Let's go ahead and grab that, right? It says Genesis 17 and verse 20, right? It says, and as for Ishmael, I've heard thee, right? Because ultimately, right, Abraham, he loved Ishmael, right? Ishmael was his first son, right? By the concubine or by the bondwoman Hagar, right? So what he was saying, he was pleading to the Heavenly Father to make Ishmael the chosen, but the Heavenly Father wasn't with that, right? So let's continue on. It says, and as for Ishmael, I've heard thee, behold, right? It says, and as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. And that's what we see now today. You see them Arabs, they got that Dubai money, they got the oil, right? You know what I'm saying? The Emiratis, all of them, man, they known for having money, right? And being blessed and being fruitful, right? All right, we see that, right? So the Heavenly Father fulfilled that promise. You see what I'm saying? Verse 21. But my covenant, what is another word for covenant? Promise, right? So this right here distinctly shows you that what Ishmael got a blessing, but it says, but my covenant, verse 21, will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time next year, right? So that's the point, man, showing you that, the promise goes to Isaac. You understand what I'm saying? And then as you read on, you'll see that the promise was passed down from Isaac to Jacob, right? Because just because Ishmael was born of Abraham does not make him a child of the promise at all. And you'll read that in Romans the 9th chapter, which I'll go ahead and grab real quick right here for you. Romans chapter 9, right? Because this confuses a lot of people, right? Romans chapter 9 and verse I just started verse 6, right? Yeah. Because this is the part that cuts a lot, that confuses some people, right? It says, not as though, matter of fact, let's start at verse 4. It says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of God and the promises, right? So the service of the Heavenly Father Yahweh, right, and the promises. So who gets that? The Israelites. And what does it mean to be an Israelite? When you read in the book of Genesis, you'll read about what makes you an Israelite. Being born of the 12 patriarchs and being from the man Jacob, whose name later was turned to Israel, right? And you being an Israelite means that you're a son of Jacob, the man whose name was later turned to Israel, right? We're of him, right? So it says, verse 5, and who did Jacob come from? Jacob came from Isaac, not Ishmael. You see? So you see how that was passed down. Verse 5, who are the fathers, and whom as concerning the flesh Christ came, who was over all, the Heavenly Father blessed forever. Amen. Right? Meaning so be it, right? So meaning showing you that what? The Heavenly Father is only dealing with the nation of Israel, right? He only is concerned with our children and our fathers. You see what I'm saying? Verse 6, it says, not as though the word of the Heavenly Father have taken on effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. So what is that saying? Just because you're born, right, of Abraham, right, or just because you're born of Isaac does not mean that you're of the chosen. Straight up and down, right? And that's going to further make that clear by what it says after that, right? It says, verse 7, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So just because you're a seed of Abraham, right? Who's the seed of Abraham? Abraham had many sons, right? I believe you read that in what? Genesis, the 25th chapter, right? Hey, let's see real quick. Genesis chapter 25. Abraham had many sons, and he had Ishmael, right? Genesis chapter 25 and verse 1. Then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bare him Zimron and Joktan, right? Slack if I butcher these names, and Medan and Midian and Ishbak and Shoah, right? All right, and so you see all of these different these different people. It says, verse 6, but unto the sons of the concubines, which Abraham had gave gifts, and sent them away from his son Isaac, while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. So what does that show you? That, hey, listen, the other sons that Abraham had, he sent them away from his true son, which was Isaac. You see, right? And that just goes to show you that ultimately the Heavenly Father only deems Isaac as the true son for the inheritance. You see what I'm saying? And right, and how do we know that? The scriptures say that, right? Let's get this. Genesis chapter 22 and verse 1. Let's get verse 1. Let's start. The point is in 2. And it came to pass after these things that the Heavenly Father did tempt Abraham, and said unto Abraham, and unto him Abraham, he said, behold, here am I. And he said, take now thy son, thy only son Isaac. Right? At this point in time, he already had what? Ishmael. Because Ishmael was born before Isaac was born. You see what I'm saying? When Abraham was pleading to the Heavenly Father to make Ishmael the chosen, the Heavenly Father said, I'll give Ishmael a promise. I'll give Ishmael a blessing, but I'm going to give my promise to Isaac, which shall be born a year later. So you see that who was born already first? Ishmael. So when the Heavenly Father says right here, verse 2, and he said, Genesis 22 and 2, and he said, take now thy son, thy only son, Isaac. That's a cut. So what is that showing? The Heavenly Father don't even recognize him, man, as the chosen. That's the point. You could receive a promise. It's like you could receive a blessing, but that does not equate to you receiving the promise, the covenant, which was only given to us and our fathers, right? So that's the point, man, showing you that we are the chosen people. So continuing on in Romans, the 9th chapter, it says, Romans 9 and 7, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So just because you're a child of Abraham does not make you the chosen at all. Oh, but we're all children of Abraham, aren't we? You'll hear people say that. It doesn't matter, right? You have to be of the lineage of Abraham, right? And then you got to make the cut to Isaac. And then after Isaac, you got to make the cut to Jacob. So if you don't come from all those three men consecutively, hey, then you not it, straight up. Right, and that's the point. So it says, it's like, where's that? Verse 7. Yeah, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Verse 8. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of the Heavenly Father. So what does it mean, the children of the flesh? Right? The children of the flesh is talking about Ishmael, yes, he's a blood descendant of Abraham. Esau is a blood descendant of Isaac, but that doesn't mean that they're the chosen, right? They're not the children of the Heavenly Father. The children of the Heavenly Father are those who received the promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? That's the point, right? So it says, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of the Heavenly Father, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. Who are the children of the promise, right? It's making a clear distinction, right? The children of the flesh are all those sons that came from Abraham. If Isaac had any other sons, I don't understand. I don't know that right now. If he had sons, Isaac, right, besides Jacob and Esau, but that's fine. But the point of the matter is, Abraham had many sons. They are the children of the flesh because they actually came from his loins, right? But the children of the promise are who? Those who were of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? And that's what it said. At verse 7, it says, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called, right? And that's the point, man, right? Matter of fact, where was that at? That was in Genesis, right? Genesis chapter 17. Let's get that again real quick. Just to show you who is the child of the promise, right? Let's run it back. Genesis chapter 17 and verse 20. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant, right? What is a covenant? A promise. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And then once you further read on in the book of Genesis, you'll see that, okay, well, look, all right, if you come from Isaac, then you good. It'll further go on and to explain, right, the story between, the account between Jacob and Esau and how our forefather Jacob got the blessing. You see what I'm saying? And that's why you got the name Yaiquab, right? Because he finessed him, but righteously, because it was already ordained. You see what I'm saying? That was just how it manifested for us to get the blessing. You see what I'm saying? But Esau didn't care about it anyway, just showing how much of a wretched man Esau actually is, right? So Romans chapter 9 and verse 8, that is, which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of the Heavenly Father, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed, right? It says, for this is the word of promise, at this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son, right? Who was that? That was talking about Isaac. And then Isaac had what? Jacob and Esau, right? And how do we know? Because it further goes on to it. For the children being not yet born, neither having any done any good nor evil. This is talking about now. This is transitioning, right? This is transitioning. Not talking about Isaac or his brethren of the concubines, right? This is talking about Isaac's sons, Jacob and Esau. Verse 11. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good nor evil, that the purpose of the Heavenly Father according to the election might stand, right? Not of works, but of him that calleth, right? It was said unto her, right, in Genesis 25th chapter, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Cut. Done. So that's how we got the promise. And that just shows you right there how Ishmael, he got a blessing, but he did not receive the promise. We are the children of the promise, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So, hey, I don't want to reconcile you sincere that you believers were edified, exhorted, and comforted. And I want to give all glory, honor, and praise unto my power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Shalom.